It's August 3rd, 2014, and we want to know, are cybernetic monkey advancements next on the research ban list?
Should I debate just, not saying I like anything at all?
All this and more is coming up next. It's episode 84, starting now.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR, the only podcast that promises not to send rabid bears after you. The others don't do it, but they also don't promise. So what is their real agenda? That's what I want to know. I, of course, remain your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, and we are joined by people. The first one, the Punmeister General, Mr. Brian Glein. Hello, sir.
Flood survivor.
Yes, so I saw you had a wonderful week this week.
Oh, I had the best week ever, man.
Best week ever.
Yeah.
Topped off by awesome books where everything you want to happen happens.
Oh, yeah.
But I guess we're getting a little ahead of ourselves
Yes.
here. Also with us, our resident Red Lantern, Bubblegum, Sunshine, and Rage, the lovely Miss Beth. Hello! Can you see me? I see the top of your head.
Do you?
I do. I know you're over there.
Are you sure?
You can't sit over there quietly.
I don't know how I'm supposed to feel in the future.
In the future, why?
Not August 3rd.
Well, yes it is. You're ruining the illusion.
I'm sorry.
It's August 3rd, everyone. Just remember that. That's when we're recording this. So, guess what?
Are we going to spoil stuff?
We are going to spoil
Okay.
stuff. We're going to go through all the books that came out from DC in their new 52 line, go over the plot beats, storylines, character developments, etc., etc. We go a little high level, we make up some stuff and have fun with it along the way, but by the end of the show, you should have a good idea of what happened this week in DC Comics. But before we do that, it's time we made up some lost ground. My inbox has been straining in the weight of backlogs of questions and corrections and stuff of that ilk. So let's try to burn through some of that because you know what this week is. It's 5th week! Yeah! You guys aren't celebrating with me.
I am. It's like repay month week.
Well, no. It's 5th week.
It's like fourth meal, but not.
Okay, or it's 5th week. It's just 5th week. Just roll with me here. First off, though, we're going to start off with one correction. That's all I'm going to do this month. And that's from Bator Alam off of our website because I made a boo-boo. Somehow, I mixed up the names of those so few Green Lantern members. I mean, there's like a dozen of them maybe total? Mm-hmm. Maybe 2?
Yeah.
I don't know, but somehow I mixed up their names. And when I said that the Green Man was the robot Green Lantern that got stomped on during one of your books, Brian, his name was actually Stel. S-T-E-L. I kind of forgot about that.
I knew it wasn't Green Man. I know what Green Man looks like.
I know you questioned me. I even remembered what happened to Green Man.
I know what Charlie Day looks like when he's wearing wearing spandex.
Green Man just twirls that sign in his face all the time. 2814, that way. So I just wanted to get that out there. My bad. Whoopsie. So let's jump into questions. It's kind of a worldly edition. We have some questions from all over the world this week. Our first one comes from, and this is how he signed his email, Larry from Liechtenstein. I don't know if he's actually from Liechtenstein.
I don't believe it.
I think it's false advertising myself. I don't believe you, Larry. We need proof. We need your Liechtenstein ID or something on your next email. But he
Maybe
writes
he's
in.
just composed entirely of Ben-Day dots.
He wrote in and says, do you guys get any of your more valuable comics CGC graded and slabbed? No.
That means you can't read them, right?
That's exactly what that means. I can understand some of them, why people would do that, but I'm not going to have like the first appearance of Stiltman where I'm going to spend all that money to throw it in a box. Beth, do you know what rated and slabbed means?
I'm assuming framed and never touched.
Yeah, it's basically like what is it? A
cryogenically frozen.
Kind of. It's like a UV protected.
It's like encasing it in carbonite.
Yes, pretty much. And then it has like UV protection on it so the sun can't ruin the page or at least the
Or
cover.
one of those,
and-
like lucite paperweights or something.
yeah.
As soon as you start doing that, I'm cutting you off.
That's fine. That's fine. I don't think I'm ever going to hit that route. As I said, I understand why people would do it if they have like the old 30s, 40s, 50s stuff. Maybe the Silver Age stuff. I don't know how valuable that stuff is. I'm sure some of it's a couple grand or something, but today's comics, yeah. I mean, especially with the digital, it will always be available. There won't be that whole, oh, well, if I want to read the story, I can only get it from these 12 copies that are out there. Woo! So no, we do not. Next email comes in from John Cox, who is cheating. We have multiple people that cheat this week that ask multiple questions in one email, so we'll get his going. How do you feel about canceling a title and then issuing a number 1 month later? I understand canceling a title due to sales, but if I'm not buying number 30 of Suicide Squad, what makes DC think I'll be picking up number 1 in the next month?
I like this guy.
Even
No
if they
Suicide Squad. So against it.
even if they change the lineup, it should still be number 31. Now, I have my own opinion on this, but Brian, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I kind of agree with him. You know, I don't care about Suicide Squad. New number 1's not going to make me pick it
Man,
up.
you guys are just going to beat up Suicide Squad today, aren't you?
Yeah.
Fail
I mean, hey,
all the time.
I kind of understand, like, I know Marvel's trying to do, like, seasons of its books, especially some of the more, like, mid-tier ones that aren't doing as well. Like, I know Avengers Arena switching to Avengers Undercover has been a nice transition.
Has that actually helped sales? I don't really keep up on the sales that much.
I don't keep up with it either. I'm just glad that's still going.
Okay.
All my weird...
Yes, your odd little underlings.
My underperforming new characters that no one cares about except me.
So how about my perspective?
Well, go for it.
Non-comic book reader.
Go for it, non-comic
So,
book reader.
What if terrible chick writer comic book lady...
Hey, we don't throw blows like that.
I don't know what her name is.
Okay, well,
So
we'll
I'm
just
not-
leave it at that.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more than one female writing, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what if her book got canceled at what number was it?
Well, you're
Okay,
zeroing
number
in now.
56. Who the heck is going to pick it up at 57? Because you have to wrap up something at some point.
Well,
So if you're going to relaunch it, you might as well relaunch it at 1.
Let's take a look at a similar situation. Let's say Green Arrow, where a writer like Ann Nocenti was writing the book, and it was not selling very well until issue 17, when a creator by the name of Jeff Lemire came on and turned it around, did a different direction entirely, and nowadays you see people saying, go buy it from issue 17. They don't say, oh, well, it started from 17, so you gotta suffer through those 16 prior before you get to it.
There's like a drum majorette that's giving him tips on the street corner somewhere for some reason. Wasn't
see-
she in roller skates too?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just saying, as an example, I'm not saying that that's fitting to what Beth was talking about or anything like that. I'm just saying, as an example, it's not an issue that people will say, oh, well, I can't start at 17. But in the same breath, I wouldn't start at 17. That's just how I am. I stayed out of comics for how many years because it was on number 676, and I was just like, it's so far beyond me being able to catch up, I'm not even going to try. And then when the new 52 launched, started at 1 again, and that's what brought me on.
So this is who I have to blame?
No, this is the launch of the line in general.
The launch of the line again at number 1 is what I have to blame.
Yes, that is your
Who do I have to write an angry email to?
Dan DiDio.
How can I be mad at a name like that?
Well, let me point you to the internet, because
Holy cow.
there are plenty of people that will rally behind your banner. We're not one of them, though. Just FYI.
He always sounds so nice in interviews.
He does. I have no qualms with the guy. He's running a business.
Yeah.
That's just what he has to do. So it brought me in, so I can't really be biting the hand that fed me, so that got me into the whole hobby. I understand
can't.
other
Are you
people.
eating the issues? That
I
you're
do
not reading
eat the
them?
issue. Dan DiDio hand delivers issues to me, and I have to remember not to bite his hand as he hands them to me. It's very awkward around this house. So
Do vegans only eat Swamp Thing?
So it's kind of a mixed bag.
Just ignore it.
I am. I just completely ignored that. It's a mixed bag from all of us. There are positives, there are negatives. I guess it's if it keeps the books alive that we like, as far as you said, your little Avengers arena got to live at least another couple issues more by relaunching it under a different title, number one.
Mm-hmm.
If they came out with Demon Knight Ear and had number one, are you going to complain that they relaunched it?
The Demon Knights who say knee.
Yes. You're not going to complain whatsoever.
No, not at
all. So I guess kind of pluses and minuses. I'll
Yeah.
just leave it at that. His other question though says, my copy of Justice League United number 3 had the cover of Justice League Canada. Since you didn't mention the cover on your podcast, I was wondering if the cover was a Canadian exclusive or not.
Eh?
It is actually a variant here stateside. I wonder if all of them up in Canada actually have the Canadian cover.
Oh man,
I
that
want
would
the
make the most
Canadian
sense, wouldn't it?
cover.
What's that?
I want you to have the Canadian cover.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Figure it out. I'll be very polite.
Really?
They'll have that punching thing that goes pow, and then sorry.
I cannot wait for your issues of Justice League Canada, Beth. They're going to just be action-packed, I can tell.
I can't tell
Is that
going to
be the end of every page is some character? It's a page of a character doing something, and then the last panel on every page is, sorry.
There's going to be a Zamboni in it.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
You're just playing to the culture there, aren't you?
It was going to be an evil Zamboni.
Is it Quebecers trying to fight for independence?
Haunted Zamboni. Do they have like Civil War era generals in Canada? I'm sure they did.
Sure.
Yeah, just get one of those Mountie generals or whatever they call them up there.
Get Kate Beaton from Hark a Vagrant to figure it out. We can find someone to haunt a Zamboni.
Yeah, there we go.
Man.
Done. Sold.
Is Dudley Do-Right Canadian?
He's a Mountie. Of course he is.
I don't know.
Mounties are a strictly Canadian thing.
See, I loved Canada when I was a kid, so much so that my brothers and our friends and I would run around and play a game called Royal Canadian Bee Patrol, and it try to destroy all of the bees' nests around our farm area with Mountie assault weapons, I guess.
Sticks?
Yeah, pretty much. Sticks, hoses. It made no sense whatsoever. Tennis rackets. You really don't want to go after a bee's nest with a tennis racket, just FYI.
I don't know of many tennis stars that come out of Canada, so...
I don't know. I don't keep up with tennis. So we've kind of wandered off track here. It is a variant stateside. I would assume they're probably selling all Canada covers up there because it makes marketing sense, period.
Yeah.
So we have the option to get it. Next question. We're kind of burning through a bunch here. Tanner Wegner wrote in and says, which Batman villains would you guys like to see more of, and which villain would you like to see an origin reboot on, such as they have done with Scarecrow, Two-Face and Clayface. Sorry, too many faces. Beth, name a Batman villain you want to see.
None of them?
Okay, that's the lamest answer you could have given. Can't even think of one.
I don't even know. No.
Just name one. I don't even care if you want to see them. Just name a Batman villain.
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, woo!
Only because Brian just talked about him.
Yeah, that's true. And punching him in his nards.
Yes.
Private parts.
Yes.
Sorry. I figured nards was PG enough. My apologies.
Yeah.
Brian, you can do it.
Let's see. They've already done Killer Moth, and I love it so much. I would love to see Flamingo come back.
Number one on my list.
Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to think of one other.
He did make that
oddball.
cameo in Detective Comics, so we know he exists in the New 52 at least.
Yeah.
Was it a guy in a pink spandex suit?
It is actually.
Are you serious?
Yes. And he's the deadliest assassin.
Does
He's
he
the
only
deadliest.
walk on one foot?
As we have called him, he's Freddie Mercury as the most deadly assassin in the world.
Most deadly matador assassin
Yes.
riding a motorcycle.
Flamboyant matador assassin.
Why you gotta be hating on Freddie Mercury?
I'm not
We're
hating
not.
on him.
He's
We
awesome.
love him. That's why we want to see him.
Amazing. Also, from Will Pfeiffer's Catwoman, Film Freak. I want to see Film Freak come back.
Okay, don't know that one.
He was like one of those late night movie hosts.
Like Joe Bob's Drive-In?
Yeah, kind of like
or
that.
Gilbert Gottfried Up All Night?
Yeah. Kind of one of those kind of things. And he got disillusioned because he lived in Gotham. Of course, he eventually decided to start committing film-related crimes, and it was really fun.
What did he dress up like the Toxic Avenger or Class of Nukem High, or what else was on all those all the time? All the trauma films, pretty much.
Anything that
Sergeant
Goulardi would show.
Kabuki Man, NYPD.
Oh yeah, Sergeant Kabuki Man.
I haven't seen those movies in forever.
I completely switched those syllables for a second, and I was like, Kabuki. That's not PG.
No, that is not what I said at all. There's a couple extra K's in that one.
Sorry.
You are incorrigible, Beth. Incorrigible. Mine were Flamingo, of course. Crazy Quilt, who I only know from an episode of Batman Brave and the Bold. It was just so weird. I was like, yeah, do it. I want to see it. But my big one is Calculator.
Oh yeah, he
I want
was
to see
a
him
big
get
deal for a while.
Yeah, I want to see him get relaunched. He's all over the place in the online video game. So
okay.
He's like the villain character's guide person that tells him where to go and what to do. So he could be a fun character.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was he a fun character?
He was kind of like the anti-Oracle for a while.
That's how he's played in the video game too, where Oracle tells the good guys and
makes perfect
Calculator
sense,
tells the bad guys what to do.
I think he had something to do with the Undernet at one point.
The Undernet, your favorite.
Yep. And if we could talk about one more thing from Batman Brave and the Bold that I want to see in the continuity, I want them to just treat Haunted Tank like an old episode of Dukes of Hazzard. Because that was amazing. When he jumped over a bridge and made the it was great.
Them Batman boys better learn how to fly or start flapping their arms. I haven't seen that show in forever either. Jeez. A lot of flashbacks today. So let's move forward. Another person that cheats and asks us 3 questions. 3. Michael Dupsky, Dupske, my apologies. Came in from email and he wants to know, why isn't Arm Fall Off Boy the mascot of DC?
Arm fall off boy?
That is his power. His arms fall off.
Terrible power.
Well, we'll get to another one.
Guess who he's affiliated with?
His name ends in boy.
Oh no.
The Legion of Superheroes. He is a rejected Legion of Superheroes.
He's a
Legion of Superheroes applicant.
There were rejected ones?
Yes.
Are you serious?
It was like an annual thing. They would bring in superheroes to apply to join the Legion of Superheroes, and some were so bad they would get rejected.
Now picture that. Picture what you would do after that happened, Beth.
I don't think there's change strong enough to keep me in a seat to listen to that crap.
The next question he asks is, can you recommend a Marvel recap podcast? We are asked this question weekly, practically, and I still don't have a good answer. There's nothing...
Yeah, I would think I don't have time to listen to that kind of stuff, so I would like to have someone tell us that if they know of one.
Yes, that's what I have right here. If I'm incorrect about that, please let me know. There does seem to be a lot of niche ones where they cover one aspect of the Marvel universe. Like, of course, your Rachel and Miles Explain the X-Men is going through all of the X-Men stuff from the past, moving up.
Yeah.
There's Resurrections, which does all of Adam Warlock's stuff.
Wow, that's very specific.
Yeah, I mean, that's very... If you want to know about this one character, it's starting from the beginning of his introduction all the way up to present day. That's what they're doing. And
I mean, I realized I had my Slapstick podcast that covered his 8 appearances, but come on.
It was a very short run. And the podcast that goes Snicket, obviously, for Wolverine is out there as well. I did notice one called Earth's Mightiest Podcast that seems like they split into 3 different shows that come out bi-weekly. Like one does all of the Avengers books for the month, another one does all the X-Men books for the month, and they just kind of cycle through, and then there's one that does all the ancillary books. But they are more of a bi-monthly schedule type thing, and it's split up like that. So you might want to check out that one. I haven't listened to it. I just saw it out there at one point, and it may fill the itch that a lot of people are asking for.
So who's the Batman of Marvel? I mean, Batman has like 1,000
Iron Man
titles.
or Captain America? I would say Iron Man. Because rich playboy that uses his gadgets to fight crime.
Yeah, that's closest. Although I know on the cartoon show, Black Panther was basically their Batman.
No, I guess that makes sense too.
But Batman did fight Captain America in DC versus Marvel.
Yeah, that's why.
That's the other thing.
Well,
Yeah.
I was thinking more of who has the most books on the Marvel side.
Oh, probably
Wolverine?
Of Wolverine?
Yeah, I would say Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's all over the place. But that's just because there's so many X-Men books, and he's in all of them.
And the Avengers books.
And the Avengers books.
Oh.
He's their Batman, pretty much.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's pretty high up there, too, though.
But it's just one book. It comes out 3 times a month, but it's just one
I
book.
meant as far as popping into everyone else's books, too, though. Mm-hmm. Where it's just like, featuring Spider-Man! Yeah. So he has... honestly, if anyone knows of a show that fits that role, please let us know so we can pass it on. If you start a show, get a couple episodes under your belt, let us know, and we will happily plug you so that you can get out there, because it is a obviously something that people want, because we literally get dozens of questions every week asking about it. His last question, though, is Bluebert Cobb named like the movie star game? You know, the dog's name and street you lived on, except using fruit, Bert salad. I can't wait for Raspbert Caesar. Personally, I had my own that I made here, which is Mango Bert Waldorf, which is a good one, I thought, and Pomabert Cobb. Those are my 2 that I would have join the league.
Guava Bert Raspberry Walnut.
Well, that's also...
I couldn't even follow the rules.
We were just saying words.
Yeah, we just
out into the ether.
Syllables.
Grape Bert. I hate this game.
Okay, that's a weird salad. I've never had it. What goes on then? I hate this game salad.
Pomegranate.
Disdain. Healthy portions of disdain. And croutons. Last question, though, that we're going to do before we get to the books, because we're running a little bit over on it. Shannon Scott wrote in on Facebook and asked probably one of our favorite questions. Can you think of a really terrible superpower that no one would want? Like only being able to turn into the Hulk as you fart, or the ability to fly, but only north? Brian.
Wait, like north can fly? Like northwest?
No, like you can fly, but the only direction you can fly is north.
I could think of some bad superpowers that were actually in the comics.
Hot girl.
Okay.
Sure. I know Resurrection Man, his whole thing was every time he died, he got a new superpower.
Yes, and he didn't know what it was.
And there were times that like he would have to keep making sure he would get killed so he could get something he'd actually use. Like
that actually happened in his short run a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Where he would keep jumping off of buildings and killing himself so that he could get a better power.
It's like I can project holographic butterflies? What is this?
My hands glow slightly.
Yeah. And all I could think, for some reason, all I could think of was an old Viva Variety sketch where Michael Ian Black ate a magnetic candy bar and could only face north.
Okay.
I couldn't think of anything terrible. And
he could never look at moss.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never seen moss in my life.
Swamp Thing, can you help me?
Can you just make it grow?
Ignore Capuchin for a minute. Help me see moss. Oh, and Weird Al on Space Ghost, his ability to turn red traffic lights green just by staring at them.
Yes, long enough. I forgot about that.
That's useful. But you have to stare at them long enough.
Yes. That's kind of the joke. Yeah. Mine, I even made character names for mine. I feel like I overachieved on this here. Mine were Read the Minds of Worms, and it was Kamanalid, because of the annelid family of worms.
Played the game Worms?
I love the game Worms.
Right.
We talked about that a couple weeks ago, actually.
Did we?
Not you, us on the show. My other one is someone that can mind control anyone who plays his cursed 8-track, and I call him 8-Trap. And then finally...
sounds like an old Ghost Rider character.
Yeah. And then create ice only in sub-zero degree climates, and his name is Redundo. And that was
is the O spelled with a 0?
Of course.
Okay.
Because it's sub-zero. Get it?
Yeah, I get
it. It's -0.
That's why I said
Redund-0.
Okay.
You guys didn't put any work into it.
I'm
Beth,
sorry,
can you think of one?
I said hot girl.
Okay. If you're going to be mean, then no, you can't play anymore. But that's it. That's all the questions. We have a couple we'll sprinkle in while we're covering the books that are actually regarding things that are happening in the books.
The ability to convert euros to Bitcoin.
Ooh, yeah, there's a great power. So hold on a couple seconds as we jump into this week's books.
Oh yeah, I'm starting off this week, aren't I?
Yes, you are.
Yes. I can't believe it's not the Justice League issue 32.
I can't believe it.
because there's no Justice League in this Justice League comic.
Isn't there?
They're there, but
yeah, they're there. They show up.
Yeah, I know. But the Justice League has sort of become more the overall like DC universe book. It's like just keep reading this until we get to the next crossover.
The Justice League pops in for a couple frames every issue, though. I mean,
yeah, every episode.
I almost said it.
Yeah, so we check in. There's a few members of actually, she might be the only one. There's a few members of the Earth 3 Justice League. Did they have a name? The Crime
Syndicate? Yeah.
There were so many different names of supervillain teams at that time period. The Crime Syndicate, a Superwoman who is pregnant with the child of evil Alexander Luthor. She is pregnant with the child of him. She's in prison somewhere laughing and being creepy and singing lullabies to it.
Yes, rocking back and forth like, soon, baby, you will conquer the world.
Mm-hmm. And as
you like my Superwoman impression, Beth?
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Dead on.
I know.
Come on, Warner Brothers Animation Studios.
Yes.
Call them up.
If you need Superwoman, I'm your guy.
Yep. And another little side story, Captain Cold joins LexCorp as their head of security.
Yes, and
Rather
still
amusing.
it seems rather... What's the word I want to use? The motivations seem kind of gray.
Yeah.
Lex
Luthor keeps handling that vial of his blood.
Yeah,
like
it's just like holding it like, yes, this holds all the secrets I need. I mean, hi, Lenny.
Yes. The important thing is we are meeting up with the new Doom Patrol this issue. And it is headed up by a creepy, mentally abusive Niles Calder.
Yeah, this guy is like the poster child for an abusive relationship. Mm-hmm. Where, you can leave me, but no one will want you.
Yes. Yep. He even calls his superheroes the Unfortunates. He's collecting all of the unfortunates of the DC universe. Like, he trapped Element Woman, formerly of the Justice League, for like an issue or two, maybe.
Is Arm Lost Boy in there?
No, he's
Arm
not.
Fall Off Boy.
Oh,
He's from the future. Maybe in Future's End we can see Arm Fall Off Boy. And she can turn her body into different elements. We've seen her before. Robot Man is former race car driver Cliff Steele. He got in a bad car wreck, and Niles Calder saved his brain and some other parts of him. So maybe his pancreas is legit still. I don't know.
That sounds like a 50s character, though.
Oh yeah,
race car driver Cliff Steele.
Is play Weird Al's pancreas now.
Yeah, but anyway, his brain and his pancreas are in a robot body. Thus being Robot Man. We have Negative Man.
Who's always down about everything.
He's such a downer, the Debbie Downer of the DC universe. Captain Larry Traynor, his plane crashed into a toxic chemical at the bottom of the ocean, and now he's a shadow monster trapped in mummy bandages.
I would be negative too.
Yeah.
How
what are the
terrible
odds?
Can that be?
What are the odds?
Oh man, my plane's gonna crash. This is horrible. Okay, now I'm sinking to the bottom of the ocean. There's nuclear waste down here. Come on, guys.
And Elastigirl.
The creepiest of them all.
Yes, they changed her. She was the person who didn't fit in with the Doom Patrol. She's a pretty lady who can grow big, kind of.
Yeah, who's an ex-movie star.
Yeah, but now she's a former movie star who is exposed to a strange gas and can change her size, but she has to stay in a good mood or she'll fall apart.
Like her molecules will literally fall away from her.
I hate her.
So she's like always got this like creepy rictus smile and like Element
hey
Girl.
guys,
Yeah. Hey guys, I sure do love doing this.
I'm so happy.
Mm-hmm. And her suit can stretch as far as she can, and it's also machine washable.
But
Yes. She was first. I don't know. So Niles Calder sends him off to stop Power Ring, who is... Well, the Power Ring itself is like the real villain. It was the evil Green Lantern of Earth 3.
Correct. Otherwise known as Volthoom.
Yes, who was the first Green... He was the Rainbow Visible Man, wasn't he?
Correct.
Yes, so he is...
Rainbow visible?
You heard me.
He was the guy eating all the emotional sandwiches. Do you remember a couple months ago? There was like the whole big Green Lantern thing, and some guy was going around going nom nom nom, eating emotional sandwiches.
No.
I think Kelly was here for the entirety of that.
Okay, well, he was a big bad guy that the entire Green Lantern Corps had to fight, and they ended up banishing him off into a little portal thing, so we're assuming this is where he ended up, was inside this power ring.
To a fail squad.
Crime Syndicate.
Okay. Yeah, they were pretty evil. They were pretty competent.
They did conquer the world and all.
They did conquer the world for a little bit.
push the moon in front of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have no idea where we are after that.
Yeah.
Okay, well we're kind of picking up right after that now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
After all this time?
Well, no, I mean we've had things happen. It's just we're in the phase right after that, after the heroes have taken it back.
Yes. So the Power Ring is setting a building on fire, and Niles sends his Doom Patrol to go after the ring instead of helping the people in there. And then the Justice League show up saying, "Hey guys, this is our comic. We're going to save some people if you
Remember
don't
us?
mind." Yeah. And
Someone plunked down $4 to see us, so we thought we'd poke our heads in here, be like, "Hello."
Are they traveling to throw the ring into a volcano?
They are.
yes.
Are they really?
No.
Oh.
But Shazam and Cyborg, who are really the only people getting any kind of spotlight time, so that's why we're enjoying them so much. But Shazam and Cyborg team up to shut her down, and Cyborg is able to jack into into the Power Ring, and they find out that it was possessed by Volthoom. It's inhabiting, or it's attached itself to this lady, Jessica Cruz, who went hunting one day and saw her friends get shot by men in suits bearing a body, and has been hiding from them ever since. She's very paranoid and scared of everything.
Yep.
You've got to be a coward to be able to wear the Power Ring, apparently. And the Power Ring is trying to set a fire that can be seen across the multiverse, so the creature that destroyed Earth 3 can find Superwoman's baby.
They're going to create the sun?
World record s'more holder. That's what they want to do. Build the world's largest s'more. So you need a fire big enough for it. My question to you, though, is Volthoom an agent of the Anti-Monitor? Like, is he working to lead the Anti-Monitor to different worlds, or is he just that spiteful that they lost and he's going to die here, that he's like, well, I'll show you guys, I'll get you all killed as well?
Well, Anti-Monitor is kind of like a big Green Lantern villain, so I guess the evil Green Lantern would want to work with him.
Okay.
Suppose so.
I don't know yet. I just wasn't sure which way you were reading it.
Yeah, that's how I'm taking it at the moment.
Fair enough.
Or he just knows there needs to be another crossover soon. He's like, well, I may as well be in charge of this.
Yeah.
So, the Mind Meld manages to take out both Cyborg and Cruz, so Niles Calder tries to just sneak in and yoink away the Power Ring, but Lex Luthor shows up to save the day. Lex Luthor! Who wants to be on the Justice League so bad? He keeps showing up at their doorstep. Hey guys, can I be in the Justice League?
Who's standing right behind him?
Yes.
With his power glove about to shoot out his spine and put him in a wheelchair or something, maybe?
Maybe, possibly.
I'm hoping the entire run of this is just the Chief in various things almost getting his back broken. Like, hey, Chief, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just hanging up this new banner. I put a ladder on 2 rolly chairs. I'm sure it'll be fine. Whoa! Oh, almost fell down there. And everyone's like, you're going to be in a wheelchair. This is it.
Be quiet, negative man. You always say that.
That could be the lightheartedness of the Doom Patrol. This Niles Calder always almost breaking his back.
Yes.
Just shy up. What do you think they're going with all this?
Like I said, it's almost like the DC Universe book, and we're introducing a lot of new characters, and it's setting up the next big crossover. The artwork by Doug Mahnke is really nice. I mean, I'm enjoying it. It just sort of doesn't really feel like a Justice League book to me.
Fair enough. That's a fair assessment. I'm just hoping it seems like it's building, and it keeps building and building and building, but we're getting a lot of these side characters a la Doom Patrol, a la Lex Luthor being on the team.
And the Metal Men for a while.
Yeah, Metal Men. So I don't know where they're going with all that, if it's just a matter of seeding them in, or if these guys are all going to have major roles to play coming up in this upcoming crossover that I'm sure this is building towards. I don't know.
Oh.
It's just me thinking out loud. So,
and we're still like an issue behind on this, right?
Yeah.
We're normally
we'll start catching up here soon. Actually, I think next month they were going to double ship, but the second one got canceled or pushed back a month. So So they're just staying a month behind right now.
All right.
I don't know. Next book though, Harley Quinn. You know Harley Quinn, right?
Yes.
What do you know about Harley Quinn?
She was a psychiatrist.
She was a psychiatrist. We actually talked about that last week. Very good. You must listen to the podcast.
No.
Well, she just had a whole big adventure where she was working alongside Cy Borgman, the Jewish elderly cyborg, and they were fighting off Russian spies.
Did he have the curls and the hat?
No, he was just in a wheelchair and threw bagel bombs at people and stuff like that.
What are those?
It's bombs in the shape of bagels.
Like literal bagel bombs.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they just fought off all these Russian spies, and one of them was very rich, and she has all the jewels, so she's dropping them off to pawn them off and try to make some cash, is able to do so, and actually ends up foiling a robbery at the same time for a Hanzo sword. I guess she's going all Kill Bill on us now as well. But that's all unimportant because, Brian, it's Thursday night. Suicide Squad have let her out for her weekly duties, and it's time to go to the roller derby. She has to rejoin her team, the Brooklyn Bombers or whatever they're called. And we get the names of all of her teammates on this team.
Wait. She's a roller derby girl.
She is a roller derby girl. This is her side job.
What's her name?
Well, that's what we just find out right now. She has teammates with Summer Daze.
Daze.
Correct. Bowling Bell, Tanya Tank, Sky Scrapper, and she is Killer Quinn.
Those are some very unimaginative roller derby names.
Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, this is your chance.
Where are Mary Haight and Smashley Olsen, as I asked for before?
You're just stuck on those two, aren't you?
Damn.
But they're all going out there, and Harley Quinn
Meredith Axter Burney.
Well, that's a pretty good. What's your thing with the whole 80s TV people?
I don't know.
80s, 90s TV.
They're fun names.
So she is just dominating out there, just knocking around the other team until they put in their big thug, who is Big Bertha Bensonhurst. And is that a little better? Benson was on TV in the early 90s.
Frida Savage.
And Big Bertha Bensonhurst takes her out, knocks her out of the ring, knocks her unconscious even, and she ends up coming back to and getting revenge by attacking this lady with a mallet.
Man, she can't even get it right by dying in roller derby.
So she is kicked off the roller derby team for being too violent.
I thought you were going to say Suicide Squad.
No, she's still on the Suicide Squad. But as she's being kicked off, the manager of her team slips her a little card and says, I think this is the direction you want to go to.
Ale Anis Morissette.
No.
Whale Anis Morissette.
Guess what the card is for? Skate Club. First rule about Skate Club, we don't talk about Skate Club. It's an underground blood sport roller derby league.
Is it headed up by Roulette?
It might be.
Oh, man.
I just really hope Jean-Claude Van Damme is there. And Guy Smiley, as we called him when I was a kid. The bad guy from Bloodsport.
Okay.
I don't know what his actual name is, but he showed up in like Big Trouble in Little China and Bloodsport. And my brother and I always called him Guy Smiley. I don't know.
Okay.
He just had a weird facial expression after he threw a punch that always looked like a big old smile.
Big old Muppet face.
Yep, pretty much. Rest of the issue, though, is pretty much hijinks as they try to clean out all of the dog poop from the dogs they rescued from that place that was going to put them to sleep. So that what they have done is taken the money from their pawning and built a giant catapult on the roof of their tenement building.
For the dogs?
For the dog poo.
Oh.
So they start loading up bags of dog poo and shooting it across New York City as they're trying to get rid of it. And
Melissa Joan Heart Attack.
Okay, you just keep thinking there. There is one funny scene where it hits the offices of DC as Dan DiDio is pitching the next big event, which seems to be a running joke here of Dan DiDio pitching the next big DC event. It's the second or third time we've seen it in Harley Quinn. This time, though, it's a Zebra Man event where he turns everyone into various animals, and he wants to call it the GNU 52. Very funny, I thought.
Mayhem Bialik.
Oh, God damn it. While that's going on, though, another assassin shows up. He gets killed, and we get to see this uber geeky fanboy who has just been stalking Harley Quinn, kills a cop and steals his uniform, and is just like, oh, soon, my beloved, you will be mine, as he's walking towards the tenement building. I try to leave most of the humor out of it because, as I said, me trying to translate humor into a recap, it loses a lot of the fun, so there actually were some very funny scenes in this one, especially the Dan DiDio GNU 52. I thought was awesome. There's a lot of people, like a lot of the creators were in the boardroom at the time just looking at him like, are you kidding me? It's very funny. So, again, it remains the fun book from DC right now. It's still their Deadpool light. So,
yeah.
Anyway, hopefully it finds a direction. Next up, I also have another book though. I forgot. Sorry. I didn't know I had one. Sinestro, number 4. Guess what the title on the cover of this one is, Brian?
It's not pronounced Sinestro?
No.
Oh.
The little cover script was, "That's the tragedy of all this, Jordan. We'll always be friends." I was instantly sad after reading it. It's Sinestro and his Yellow Lantern squad of Lyssa Drac. You remember Lyssa Drac, right?
Nope.
Do you remember the lady who had a book of parallax and then they inscribed it on her in tattoos? And you were trying to figure out how small the writing was on her tattoos? It was there. I do remember you complaining about it. She has the script of this entire book on her body.
Are you sure it was me?
I'm positive it was you.
Because I know Dragonfoot Lady.
Yes, you know that one. This is a different one. We also have Romat Rue. He looks like Tomar Ray.
It's probably, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay, Rygan Kale. Do you know this character?
He's a leafy guy? I don't know.
Nope. He's just looks like a guy with a scarred face. And Des Trevius, who is my brother.
I was going to say, your brother's in the book.
And of course, his daughter, Sornik Natu, is also in there. And they have been confronted by the Paling, which is this religion of anti-emotion, who have shown up and said, "Oh, you guys are fearmongers, huh? Well, we're anti-emotion, so submit yourselves and we'll cleanse you of all that emotion thing." And they go up to Romat Rue and kind of poke him with their little stick, and all of a sudden he turns into a veggie table and just falls to the ground.
A veggie tail.
A veggie tail.
All of a sudden he is a Christian vegetable.
He is, and he sings a song about how the Paling is bad. So everyone's like, "Oh crap, they just took out Romat Rue." So they start pew 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 shooting their little yellow lasers at this guy. And yes, they are yellow lasers. Lasers from their rings. It is nothing else. Quit making weird looks. And it doesn't seem to be working. Everything's bouncing off of them. It seems like they are immune to the yellow light.
You are rubber and I am glue. Wait, no.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So then they poke Sinestro and he starts seeing all these visions that are slowly wearing away his resolve. And, oh man, maybe all this fighting is pointless. Maybe I should give up, blah, 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 blah. Until he gets to a vision where it's all of the people of Korrigar going, "Yay, Hal Jordan, you're the savior of Korrigar." And he's like, "Oh, no, that's not how that's going to play out." And then the vision changes again. And it's Hal Jordan hooking up with his daughter Sinestro. And he's like, "Oh, hell no, that ain't going to happen." And that's when he breaks free and comes out and just starts swinging like a madman at everyone. While that's going on, of course, his daughter, still being a Green Lantern, takes a couple pot shots to try to help save everyone there. And it turns out that these guys have to recalibrate depending on which light they're fighting. So as soon as they change to green, that's when Sinestro attacks and ends up taking them all out and blows their brains out quite literally. And Rygan Kale, one of the other guys, comes up to Sornik and is like, "You fight pretty well. So now's the time when we go and make celebration with the sexy time." And she's like, "What? No, we do not just make with the sexy time. Get out of here, crazy Scarface, evil murderer guy that I just saw slaughter everyone. No.
Wait, who is he trying the sexy time?
Sinestro's daughter.
Oh, so that's going to end up well.
Oh, yeah, exactly, because that's what you do right in front of Sinestro is tell his daughter, "Hey, you want to go make with the sexy time now?" Yeah, I'm sure. Sinestro's proven to be a very calm and reasonable guy over the years. Yes. So they go up, all the Yellow Lanterns, the spaceship that these Paling guys came out of. They look around, they find, Sinestro finds out what their master plan is, and he finds all of these hordes of other slaves that are also stripped of emotion and just kind of going about their lives like automatons. And they decide to free them all by detonating the ship and killing everyone inside. They fly back down, and of course Sornik's like, no one else was in there, and they're like, "Nope, all automated, nothing to worry about, Green Lantern lady, everything's hunky-dory." And that's when Sinestro looks around and goes, "Where are these Korrigarians that I just saved? Hey, Sornik, where are all our people? I just liberated them. You had them last. Where'd they go?" She's like, "Yeah, I put them somewhere safe." It's like, "What do you mean safe?" And that's when we turn around and see Hal Jordan there, and he has the Korrigarians, and he's like, "Sinestro, hey, buddy. Haven't seen you since that whole big parallax thing. Think you and I need to catch up on a couple things. So let's sit down and have a little chit-chat." And that's where we leave off. So I'm sure their chit-chat will be nothing but a reasonable conversation next issue where they all debate the ins and outs of their various life philosophies without throwing a punch.
Hal Jordan and Saranac Natu.
Yep.
Man.
Wasn't it Kyle Rayner that was all...
Kyle Rayner stole his girlfriend, his old girlfriend, so now Hal's got to steal his old girlfriend. We've got an Orlando Bloom, Justin Bieber thing going on here. Topical.
Wow, you're really pulling from recent.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I caught up on my Colbert this week.
It is August 3rd, so I mean, he's actually a little behind.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm a little behind the times, yeah.
So, Brian, what do you got coming up?
I've got Red Lantern's annual number 1.
So
it was the best space epic to come out this week for about a day.
For about a day?
Yeah.
Really? You took it away from it?
Yeah.
Man.
I saw Guardians, man.
Oh, okay. I didn't see it yet.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
I mean, I saw it today on August 3rd, 2014.
You loved it, didn't
yesterday.
you?
Yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yes, on August 2nd. Yes, that's when I saw it.
Who would have thought X was so funny? It's the big culmination of the two different factions of Red Lanterns coming to a head. Guy Gardner had killed Atrocitus, took over his Red Lanterns. Atrocitus got better. He got better. And he formed his own eviler Red Lanterns.
The Redder Lantern.
Yes, the reddest lantern.
Redder
Yes,
Lanterns?
The Redderest.
the burgundy lanterns.
So if they don't
Not pederast.
vomit blood, what do they do?
What?
If they don't vomit blood, what do
They vomit
do?
other people's blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how extreme they are.
Mountain Dew Code Red.
Yeah, that's what they spit out.
So
It would chase me away.
So, in order to he really hates Guy Gardner on kind of the whole killing him thing.
Well, yeah.
So entirely to spite Guy Gardner, he takes his new army of Red Lanterns up to the edge of Earth. And he says, "All right, this is Guy Gardner's home planet. Hey, weird, gigantic, empty belly Red Lantern, vomit up thousands of Red Lantern rings onto Earth, and see what happens."
And some Code Red.
And some Code Red. And see what happens. And so, sure enough...
That's what happened to all the Earthlings. They were reaching up to grab the Code Red dramatically, at the end of the commercials, and that's when the red rings jumped on.
Dan Cortez was there. He's like, wait, this isn't what I was expecting. God, dating myself. So, I think he did Burger King as well as that. Get some Chris sandwiches in there. I'm just going to keep digging my hole even deeper. Yep. So he's like Oprah, giving out Red Lantern rings to everybody. And so all the angry people of Earth turn into blood monsters and start fighting and punching each other.
I am quite surprised the internet just did not become sentient with a red ring.
I know. Oh, I know. Scalox, who has defected from the good guys. Boo. Yeah, boo Scalox indeed.
Boo Scalox.
The goat skull-face monster tries to go and find someone he cares about greatly on Earth who is going to get a Red Lantern ring. And we are, of course, are supposed to think, oh, this is Supergirl. He's going to go try to find Supergirl because he cares about her, as we've seen demonstrated in previous issues. Bleeze, who has a crush on Rancor, who has been turned back into a blood monster.
Yes.
She tells the crazy Rancor that she's going to save his planet if she can't save him, and it's very nice and touching. We get to see the worldwide scope of the Red Lantern attack, and it's really, really cool, but most importantly, a little fan service.
A little bit.
Guy Gardner shows up in Gotham City, and he says, hey, Batman, thanks for helping out my annual here.
Thanks for stopping by.
That's not the fan service I thought you were talking about.
Well, they actually go a different route with it.
Yeah,
it's actually very funny because Batman's like, Gardner, what the hell, man? He's like, don't worry, I got this.
This isn't me, no. And there's an old scene that gets brought up ad infinitum about how one time Batman knocked out Guy Gardner with one punch, and so Batman says, if you're at fault for this, I'll knock you out with one punch. It would only take one punch, and then Guy Gardner's like, not in this universe, ha ha ha. New 52.
GNU 52
GNU 52 away. Speaking of GNUs, Scalox, he goes and recruits the new Red Lantern, his precious Shadow Thief.
Yes.
Who was
writing alien fan fiction about sleeping with him.
The alien racist who is so xenophobic it's not even funny, and then when she got like drugged or something. she got knocked silly, and she was able to admit that she doesn't actually hate aliens, she's actually in love with them, and she thought that his goat bone face was sexy.
So she just wants to sleep with aliens, and that's why she's... Yes.
Yep.
So obviously...
Skeleton-ish.
As a skeletal goat face guy, your options are pretty limited.
Yeah, so...
He was like, this is a very precious commodity for me. Yeah. I really need to get down there and get that. I did love how the fact that Atrocitus even yells at Deathstroke.
Yeah.
And is just like, okay, Deathstroke, get down there and wrangle up all the red lanterns.
The cat is still there?
Yep.
The hate kitty, yes.
The hate kitty. And he's like, and if I find out all you do is just sleep with all the other cats down there, I'm going to be very angry. And Deathstroke's just like... Fine. It's a lot of rage hookups in this one, actually. I was trying to find the right words to say there that wasn't going to be...
Angry sex.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. I was trying to go for PG, but you can go for the PG-13.
You can't say that word, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Grumpy canoodlin'.
Grumpy canoodlin'. There we go. That's pretty PG.
All right. Supergirl shows up to help her friends in the big gigantic battle. She shows up. It's like, hey, how'd you get rid of that Red Lantern ring there, Supergirl? Like, oh, I just took it off. Oh.
No, because she had hope for the future.
Yeah.
Wait, she turned blue?
No. She just went straight from red to normal.
There's still no blue.
No, there's not.
Yep.
Soon. When you guys are all at your darkest hour, when you guys are all sitting there like, no, we're never going to make it, that's when my Blue Lantern Corps will show up.
You called me red.
You're red, but I'm just saying, when the chips are down, my boys in blue are going to come to save the day.
No.
Look, I'm even sporting the blue here. Blue Lanterns, woo! Go on.
Okay. Zilius Zox takes his spaceship to go blow up the new blood pool on Stygia Prime.
Yeah, if we can't have a blood pool, neither can you.
No blood pool parties whatsoever.
Ruined our 4th of July weekend, you bastards.
Yep. By the way, if I can request some fan art of Zilius Zox as the girl from the Coppertone ad, preferably with Deathstroke as the dog, I think that'd be funny.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So.
Okay.
The dog pulling on the bottom of the girl's swimsuit.
Yes. I think that would be hilarious.
Okay. That is a very specific request.
Yep.
I don't know, but all I can think of is Fox, Nax, Fox, and Box, Zilius Zox.
Yes.
But Ox is his arch nemesis.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. But Ox
he's
is the cubicle Green Lantern.
So, and he ain't got no time for squares.
Mm-mm. The captain of the old captain of the ship is even out there. He's become a Red Lantern as well. He's at the Blood Citadel, and he sees his old ship coming back. And he's like, "Ha! This is great. I'm gonna get my old ship back." They don't know what they're doing with that thing. Bleez brings the peaceful statue makers that they saved to use a pacifying ray.
The happy ray.
The happy ray on the Earth Red Lanterns, and it works for like couple panels, and then Atrocitus shows up and just tears it to bits.
Well, yeah.
Because,
which kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
No more euphoric happy rays.
Yep.
I love your bone wings. They're so awesome.
Yeah. And so Rancor, who has been going crazy, suddenly, as everyone is gone, he goes and kind of stands up in his cell, cricks his neck a little bit. He's like, all right, I'm done pretending I'm crazy. Casually walks out of the cell and stabs Zilius Zox through the eye and his entire sphere-shaped body.
No!
And if it's just his eye, Zilius Zox with an eye patch would be amazing.
Okay, fair enough.
Amazing.
Now he's a space pirate captain.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Yarr.
He's already a captain of a pirate spaceship.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Rancor then immediately pulls a blood lamprey out of his mouth that is controlling him.
Yeah, like this centipede lamprey monster that was inside of him,
and
controlling him like a puppet.
Liam?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, our son was actually inside of him. He is a little rage lamprey, so it makes sense.
He does love to attach himself to your nose for some reason. And so and he's like, oh man, I should have done this a few panels earlier, shouldn't I?
Zilius, no!
So he breaks the lamprey in half, takes its extra ring, which will probably be important later. And Zilius Zox says he's going to die, and decides to pilot the ship into the Blood Citadel. And in his last moments, as he's going on a suicide mission to crash into the Blood Citadel and destroy it,
Fire Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Honorary member.
Mm-hmm. And so in his last moments, the ship's computer finishes its universal search and finally figures out what a testicle is. And he laughs at Guy Gardner's audacity before finally dying and blowing up. He's just a little vaporized. He's still good. He's still good, right?
Why
right, Sean?
was his computer searching for
Because Guy Gardner called him a testicle and there was no word for it in space, so he was trying to figure out what Guy Gardner kept calling him. Because he's just a sphere with a mouth and two eyes. So he had no idea what it was until
every time he ran into someone from Earth, he asked what it was, and they wouldn't tell him.
Yeah, because everyone would
just
just
start beating
laugh
him
at him. Like, every time he ran across someone that would attack him, he'd be like, whoa, 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 you're from Earth. What's a testicle? And they'd be like, what? You don't ask that in the middle of a fight? And start beating him up even more.
Wait, so he found out what it was and laughed.
Laughed as he crashed his ship. Heroically. Didn't go out like no chump.
He didn't go out like a chump. Didn't go out like no square.
No. But he will be missed.
Poor Zilly Socks.
That was the saddest moment this week for me.
Seriously.
I was like, no. Oh. But I have to be happy because the worst thing that could have happened to him was a soul leaving the book at some point down the line. It will happen, obviously. Yeah. And Zilly Socks going back to just being a lackey Renfield / Igor to Atrocitus. After all of the fun he has had so far, I don't want him to just be a little punching bag.
Yeah.
So at least this way,
he went out well.
He died doing what he loved.
Yes.
Bleeding
finding out
from
what
the eyes.
So Bleeze regroups with Guy Gardner, and she uses some of her blood magic to try to bring Earth's Red Lanterns under her thrall, and they get like 6 of them. Like, yeah,
go team.
how many rings did that thing throw up all over the Earth? And then we cut to Atrocitus, who has an entire army of rage.
Probably hundreds and hundreds of them.
Hundreds and hundreds of rage blood monster humans to fight on his side.
He has all the code red.
All the code red.
So, pretty epic for an annual. Epic.
It was a really well-written, big, it felt big. Like we always talk about how Red Lanterns is just a series of small moments between characters we like. This was big, grand, epic scale. It felt like what you would think an annual should be. It was an extra size, big, epic story. And apart from one glaring issue I had with it, it was very well done.
You had an issue with this one?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know.
Yeah. But it's a good time to bring up a message that was sent to us on Facebook from Craig Stein. I know you actually replied to this one already, but I think it's fitting at the moment.
Yeah.
He had gone back and listened to one of our older episodes, episode 27. Actually, the first...
What?
Back in the day. Actually, the first episode where Charles Soule had taken over Red Lanterns. And Brian had just been given the book recently as he had started going through it. And it was a less than glowing
reception. Review, yeah.
He actually even wrote in and said that Brian said, okay, well, you know, I kind of am big on Atrocitus and Deathstroke. They're the big spotlight characters of this book. But at the end of the day, this book is not my cup of tea whatsoever.
Yeah.
And yet here we are a couple issues later. In this annual.
Many issues later.
And you are actually really sad to see one of those other little rage blood monsters bite the bullet today.
I know. Yeah. Yeah, hey, I can change my mind.
I know.
Charles Soule changed my mind so hard, like within like 2 or 3 issues.
I know. I'm just saying, this is why I hate first issues, period, for anything, because
there's just so much blood. I'm just like,
there was a lot of blood.
So much blood.
We got blood pools. To
almost comical extent. When now I realize it was being used to comical extent.
It was.
Because that's just how Soule rolls. That's how Zilly Socks rolled too.
He will be remembered. He will be remembered. He can join the wall with Bluebert Cobb and the midget with a chain gun. And we'll remember you, all of you, in our hearts. But that's
Do we
it.
have like a remembrance page?
I'm actually building one on the website, an in memoriam of all the characters that we love that we have lost. Brian, what do you have coming up for round 2, though?
Futures End and Aquaman Annual 2.
And I have Batman Eternal number 17 and Detective Comics Annual number 3. So give us a quick moment to grab a soda, to dry our eyes as we have lost
pour one out for
friend.
Zilly Socks.
Yep. So, and we'll be right back to go through those books.
Slip inside the eye of your mind. Don't you know you might find a better place to play? You said that you've never been, but all the things that you've seen slowly fade away. So I start a revolution from my bed. She said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. I stand up beside the fireplace. Take that look from off your face. You ain't ever gonna burn my heart
back as we blitzkrieg to the second half of so many books. What do you got? 4 more to go here. So I will start us off this half with Batman Eternal number 17. It's a bit of a flashback issue. Actually, a lot of our issues are flashback issues this week, it seems. So I'm going to get all the side stuff out of the way. First off, Tokyo, where we have Harper Row and Red Robin, who are chasing down Sergei and Maxwell.
Noted Batman villains Sergei and Maxwell.
Well, Sergei is, of course, one of the trainers of Batman that taught him how to make his little gadgets on the fly, and they think that this is the guy responsible for letting loose a bunch of nanobots in Gotham City that seem to be attacking people. His monkey, named Maxwell, is a, chimpanzee with cybernetic arms and legs, and it's basically the entire scene is Red Robin talking to Sergei going, I know you're the one that did it. All of these things have your fingerprints all over them. It's your design. And Sergei's like, yeah, it's my design, but I didn't do it. I actually retired that design probably 5 years ago. I have more advanced stuff now. Why would I use my old stuff if I was going to do that? Clearly someone's using my stuff to attack you guys. And while that whole conversation is going on in the background, it's just Harper Row playing with this monkey, Maxwell, and it's all like, yay, and they're having fun and playing around. And then all of a sudden, this monkey just pulls out a syringe, and it's just like the monkey from Family Guy in the closet. It's just like, I'm gonna murder you. And Harper Row electrocutes it. Just kind of shocks it and knocks it down. You know what she does? She shocks the monkey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I had to set it up just for that.
Yeah.
Just for that. Mm-hmm. The whole thing, though, they're like, okay, well, Sergei, you're coming back to Gotham City to try to help us figure out what's going on here. And he is just more impressed with Harper Row and the way she handles herself than Red Robin. It seems to be going somewhere because that theme has been playing quite a bit where everyone's like, man, Harper Row, you're so cool. Get out of the way, Red Robin. You're just slowing her down. So I'm waiting for that to pay off because it's clearly being done on purpose. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's so it can be she gets too much hubris and makes mistakes coming down the line or how that's going to play out. But it's kind of blunt in the way it's being done.
Does she have her boot hooks yet?
Not yet.
Oh.
Just has her grifter mask.
Okay.
And her little stun gun thing that she made. The other little side vignette we get is Julia Pennyworth, who is still staying at Wayne Manor. Beth, do you know who Julia Pennyworth is?
No.
Julia Pennyworth.
No.
Pennyworth.
No.
Alfred Pennyworth. No? Okay.
Before you said that, I was going to say the penguin, but now it's the butler.
Yes, it is actually the butler's daughter. He had a daughter before he came over.
What's the penguin's last name?
Cobblepot.
Oh, completely.
Not even close. But Julia is still very angry. It's kind of a reminder, little vignette of, hey, why did you leave me behind and become a servant when you used to be a military medic? What the hell, man? What's up with that? And it's Alfred, of course, being like, you really don't understand. I am answering
making
to
so much more money doing what I'm doing now.
I think it's more I'm serving a higher calling right now instead of the money aspect of it.
Are you sure?
I'm sure he makes bank. I am sure Alfred is not wanting for anything fiscally. I'm positive of that fact, but that's not the reason. Now, interspersed throughout all this stuff that's going on, there's all these little vignettes. There is a 3-year-ago flashback, which is basically a retelling of an old pre-52 storyline called The Cult. I brought it up before, one where Deacon Blackfire was trying to take over Gotham, and he's brainwashing all the people, and he captures Batman and is trying to brainwash him into joining him. And, of course, Batman breaks free and turns the people on Deacon Blackfire, basically shows him to be the fraud he is, shows that he has no powers or anything like that, and the people turn on him, his congregation, and beat him up. So that is obviously matching up into today, as we are dealing with Jim Corrigan, aka the Spectre, and Batwing, who are running around Arkham Asylum, that has just gone to the crazy people, quite literally, they are in charge, and Deacon Blackfire has come back as a ghost and is haunting the body of Maxie Zeus, using it as his vessel. And so you come back from the dead, Brian. You have limitless powers, it seems. You seem to have like a whole bunch of magical powers at your whim. Sorcery out the wazoo. What's the first thing you do? To smite your enemies, what do you do?
Probably go get some Honey Hut ice cream.
Okay, well
That would be a good idea.
Okay, again, you guys aren't very good at this whole supervillainy thing whatsoever. No. He turns all of his people into man-bats.
Of course he does.
Because he's been out of the loop.
Wait.
Man-bat.
Why still? I thought man-bats were gone.
No, you can't get rid of man-bats. Last week we had adorable little chippy man-bats too, and they were like, "Kee, quee, quee, we're man-bats."
Quee, quee, quee?
That's the noise that little chippy man-bats make. Quee, quee, quee. It's not like moose. Which, on another tangent, our son, apparently when he gets angry, sounds like a dying moose.
Okay.
When the sun gets in his eyes, he just was sitting in the back going, I can't do it justice. It's very funny. Anyway, so no, he decides to turn them all into quasi-man-bats. They're like vampire man-bats. It looks like he's been locked in the basement for so long and being dead. He probably thought, you know what? They don't use that often in Gotham. Man-bats. I'm gonna shock them all by bringing back the man-bat craze, and he's gonna get out from underneath Arkham and be like, "There's man-bats everywhere." So now is the time of his vengeance. Fear my man-batty wrath, as all of his congregation swarm upon them, knocking them into the water. Batwing disappears in the fray, and as Corrigan is sitting there going, "Okay, Spectre, now's the time. Any minute now, if you want to swell on up and do some smoting, now you can do it." It doesn't seem to be answering him whatsoever. And one of these man-bats pops up from the water and goes, "Hi, Corrigan," and then just starts pulling him down to the murky depths below. And that's where we leave off. Murky. Man-batty.
Awesome.
Moving on to moving on to the far future of 5 years from now. In Futures End number 13.
Do they have any man-bats?
Not yet.
Oh, phew, we're safe.
Believe it or not.
I'm getting good at this pretending we're in the future thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, first thing we do is we check back in with Red Robin, Tim Drake,
Jesus, I forgot about
who,
this.
as we all know, is living under the name Prentice Pennywhistle.
Penny Whistle.
It's not what he's going as. Brian keeps making up names for him because he doesn't like the name he's hiding himself under.
He gets held up at the bar he works at, after he's done cleaning out a dirty old glass with a rag.
You know what? I saw this, and the first thing I thought was because these robbers come in, and they shoot the glasses behind him, and all I could picture was his rage at, like, I just cleaned those glasses.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And he lets him rob him, and he takes his girlfriend, Madison Payne, her necklace, the only piece of jewelry she owns, the necklace that he Prentice Pennywhistle got for her
Cal Corcoran.
just 2 issues ago. And he's just like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I'll have to get you a new one because I'm not Red Robin. Ignore what that Lois Lane says. I'm not Red Robin. I'm Prentice Pennywhistle.
Cal Corcoran.
I can't do anything to help you. And then, of course, as soon as she leaves, he goes and runs around back behind his bar where I guess they're trying to sell off the necklace, and he breaks all of their ankles and wrists and steals the necklace back.
That was a very good robber. He literally walked 10 feet outside the door and tried to sell the necklace he just stole.
Yep. So he still has his crime-fighting chops. That Prentice Pennywhistle.
But he couldn't show it in front of her because of all of the stuff Lois Lane's been digging up.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yep. We check in with Grifter and 50 Sue. Grifter, of course, being our former Wildcat.
Wow.
50 Sue being a, let's say, 12-year-old girl.
50 Sue.
50 Sue.
Yes, she is a...
You can just roll your eyes with the rest of us.
She is a little girl who is quite literally all-powerful. She can do whatever she wants.
Was she shot before?
No, I don't think so.
I'm aware of.
Oh.
Actually, I read a whole interview with the guys that are writing this book about 50 Sue.
Oh, really?
Where they all take equal
blame?
Not blame, equal credit for the name 50 Sue, but I guess Brian Azzarello was the one that just kept calling her that, and they were like, yeah, it's too good of a pun not to use.
They are sneaking around Cadmus Island, looking for stealth OMACs, and so they go and they sneak around the Cadmus air
Are they
ducts.
just looking like, I don't see any stealth OMACs?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see any over here either.
Yeah, if you can't see them, I don't know what they're looking for, but they go snooping around the air ducts as you do. There was that...
Because that's where you hide as an invisible OMAC, is inside an air duct, not just standing out in the open because you're invisible.
Yep, and I do love the interactions between 50 Sue and Grifter because she has nothing but contempt for Grifter.
It's getting better.
Yes.
Now that it's getting to a point where she's not as contemptuous, she's actually saving him somewhat.
Yes, I did love her pushing him down the air vent just to watch him fall and then catching him with her powers like at the very last second just to laugh.
And then doing it multiple times.
So they sneak around and they don't find any stealth OMACs because, again, they're invisible, so you can't find them. But Grifter finds some Earth 2 normals, as they call them, some regular non-superhuman people from Earth 2 who are working as scientists for Cadmus.
Down in the sub basement.
Passing on that Earth 2 scientific knowledge.
Hey, you never know.
Could be different.
It did look pretty shiny in the cityscapes of the Earth 2 book. So maybe they got some better tech. They had all those airships.
Yeah, it was a little further along the timeline, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were 5 years ahead.
Yeah.
So then they have 10 year from now technology? Because we're 5 years from now, and Earth 2 was 5 years ahead of Earth 33.
So they're already on, like, the U-Sphere 10 or something.
Yeah, exactly. They showed up with the best Apple pads, or whatever they call them, the Q pads. Yeah.
Yes. Checking in with Batman Beyond. He gets kicked out of Plastique, Key, and Coil's heist team because Mr. Terrific outed him on national television as being not of this world.
Although I did like the fact that everyone was standing up for Plastique while Coil was yelling at her, Key was yelling at her, and Coil's like, you don't have to yell at her. Yeah. Are you freaking kidding me? Did you see the cyborg robot monster?
Yeah. And Emiko and Big Barda. They're in Canada, and they need to get to Metropolis to meet up with Lois Lane. She can prove that Scott Free and the other Earth 2 heroes are still alive. So I'm beginning to think Emiko may have left the clue box behind. She may have been our mystery person.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. The main thing about that conversation was they mentioned the Apocalypse fleet was there during the war that these guys are talking about, and we have recently heard that rumblings that one of the upcoming events is the Darkseid War. So I have a feeling we're not too far off from the start of this war that may have starts all of these dominoes falling.
Yeah, and they're talking about how they don't have like Earth cards, so they can't get across the border, so they're not quite sure how they're going to do that.
There's going to be another war on Earth 2?
On Prime Earth, it looks like. Or Earth 2, I don't know. Earth 2 is not in good shape.
Yeah.
So
all the people from Earth 2 have kind of become refugees on Earth 1, or Earth Prime, as they call it.
Earth 33, actually, per the Grant Morrison Multiversity map that's at the back of all of our issues.
No, Earth 33 is
is ours.
Is our Earth.
Yes. That's the real world. And
Yes.
then Earth 0 is
Prime Earth, as they're calling it.
Or Earth Prime.
Yeah.
We're Prime Earth, they're Earth Prime.
Yes, it's not confusing at all. Oh, God, I do not... I'm so looking forward to it, but I have no clue how I'm going to recap Multiversity.
We had a question that I pushed until that comes out that was, can you explain the multiverse map in the back to me? And I was like, nope, I'll save that one for Brian coming down the line.
Want me to talk about Wonderworld from Grant Morrison's Justice League of America
I know
run?
about Wonderworld. You made me read that one.
Yes, I did. They go to meet her boss at the Queen's Bakery. I'm translating from French because they're in Montreal.
Yes.
Where everyone's wearing black turtlenecks and smoking on a stoop and looking disdainfully at me as I drive in across
Look
the border.
at my French bread.
I went to go to a museum in Montreal, and all I remember is just some guy in a black turtleneck smoking a cigarette on a stoop, taking a long drag and just looking at me like, the Americans are here.
I do that all the time to people. You can do that if you have a cigarette.
I guess.
You can disdainfully look at people without even meaning to, where you're just looking past them smoking a cigarette and they're like, that man hates me. And I'm like, I didn't even see you.
Yeah. So, when suddenly a little girl named Susie shows up and she needs help finding her dad. So they're even saying, wow, this is very foolish. Why are we following this little girl when we're right about to do what we need to do? And sure enough, little Susie is actually 50 Sue, who even was mentioning earlier in the issue saying that she was projecting herself into two different places at the same exact time.
Yeah.
And she leads them.
Sue who?
And she leads them right down into an alleyway that has Deathstroke at the end of it.
Deathstroke at least survives another 5 years, Beth. 5 more years of Deathstroke. Do you know
the
he's getting a
groundhog
new
sees
book?
its shadow, that means 5 more years of Deathstroke.
He's getting a new title next month. Deathstroke #1 coming out.
Are there ninjas?
I hope so. I hope there's 1,000 ninjas. It just wouldn't be Deathstroke without 1,000 ninjas. Or British people. British ninjas would be the best. 1,000 British ninjas would kind of really just sell me on this title right off the bat.
I can never remember the difference between Deathstroke or...
Deadshot?
Yes.
Yes, I know. You always got them confused.
You know who Regulus is, though?
I do. Fiber Monster.
Yes. Jeez. What are you thinking, though? It seemed like we're starting to get some places now.
Yeah, we're still slowly transitioning. I almost wonder if it was a slower issue because it was, the fifth week.
Yeah.
But
it seemed, as I said, even Batman Eternal was a lot of flashback stuff, kind of setting up backstories to fill people in on, hey, you know who this guy is? Here he is. And then next week, hopefully, we'll move on a little further. But here's some man bats to tide you over.
Grown to love 50 Sue, despite just rolling my eyes as hard as possible when she showed up. So,
yes, it's audible. We can hear your eye roll. So next up, my last book for this episode is Detective Comics Annual #3, which is all a backstory for the current storyline that's going on. It kind of raises the stakes of what's been happening by showing all of these links of these characters that happened before we jumped in media res, while reintroducing one of Batman's rogues gallery. We get a new character, Brian. A new reimagining of a character.
Man-Bat?
No, not Man-Bat.
Okay.
We've actually seen this character before because... Do you remember the Squid, our gangster, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to set up a deal to buy some Icarus off of that biker gang, the Kings of the Sun. Now, we had already joined in after this deal had gone south. That was where Manapul and Buccellato started this whole thing. And they have hired, or at least he has, the Squid has hired a man by the name of Julian Day to work with his brother Johnny and help him wrap up this deal to buy these drugs, get everything done correctly, because his brother's such a screw up. Julian Day, you can help me out. You're this big muscular guy. You seem to get your head on straight. Get in there and help him out. Brian?
That'd be the Calendar Man, correct?
That would be the Calendar Man.
Finally pulled out of the Channel 52 ghetto.
He was saved. Rescued, one would say. Now,
Calendar Man in the video games?
yes, the same one that every holiday that comes up, Devin
like,
goes,
Can I play?
Can I play Arkham Asylum? I have to visit Calendar Man. He's going to say something different today. But anyway,
Well, it's August. He's not going to do anything.
Nope. He just chills in his cell and goes, nope, next holiday, sorry. But he always
Does he say
asks
anything
about
awesome
weird...
on my birthday?
No, he always does something... Devin always asks, it's like, it's Arbor Day. Can I go visit Calendar Man? He's not going to say anything different. It's Arbor Day, man. Anyway, one of the thugs guarding this cache of Icarus is actually the boyfriend, a guy by the name of Dante, the boyfriend of Annette Aguila, the daughter of the Aguila family that is working with Bruce Wayne to redo all of the city. At least that's where it was at the start. They were both ex-drug addicts. They've gone clean, and Dante, of course, is kind of slipping a little bit. He wants to score some cash beforehand, so he and the daughter can skip town and elope together. Batman kind of gets involved because he's chasing down a gang of thugs that have stolen a bunch of Wrath's weapons. Do you remember Wrath from Detective Comics earlier? This gang has found a cache of his weapons, and they're trying to sell them on the street. He's beating them all up. No one's giving him an answer on where all the rest of the weapons are, except for this kid who's up on a fire escape. And he's like, who the heck are you, kid? He makes a little shadow puppet with his fingers. He's like, I'm Batman! Yay! Batman's like, all right, kid, you're kind of cute. Let me hop up here and see what you got.
Want to be a sidekick one day?
Hey, do you value your life? How do you feel about short shorts, kid?
Elf boots?
Elf boots? Maybe Pixie? I don't know. So this kid tells him, yeah, they never noticed me. I've been up here the whole time watching their deals. I know exactly where it's at. It's over at the salt mines. And he looks down and he sees that the kid has actually gone there as well. He's like, why would you go there? And he's like, I don't want to really talk about it or anything like that. And
I'm part deer. I really like the salt mines, okay?
It ends up coming out that his father is abusive and today's his birthday and he's not even there. And Batman is very protective of this around 10-year-old range of kids. I don't know why he's so defensive about 10-year-old little boys. It's just something, I don't know, maybe because his son died recently and he's kind of still ragey about that.
Recent.
Maybe.
It's still recent in comics.
Recent.
In comics, it's recent.
Only a few weeks have passed.
So he's going to go find this kid's dad first. By God, I'm going to beat some sense into this guy because I'm angry about this situation. Forget all those gang members with weapons. This abusive dad has to feel my hammers of justice first. So he goes into a bar, dresses up like Matches Malone, and waits in the bathroom to ambush this kid's father.
I love Matches Malone.
Yes, Matches Malone, see? And as he's standing in there, Julian Day comes in. He's like, you! I have a bone to pick with you. You left your kid behind on his birthday. And he's like, what the heck do you know about my kid? Get the heck out of here, Matches Malone. I don't care. And he ends up beating the living, loving crap out of Julian Day. And as he's walking out of the bathroom, just bleeding incessantly, as Batman's walking out of the bathroom, he yells at him real quick over his shoulder. He's like, and it's your son's birthday, by the way. Get a calendar, and walks on his way. So is the creation of Calendar Man.
Batman just gotta keep
creating
making my
his
villains.
own rogues gallery everywhere. Of course, Johnny, the screw-up brother, now that he does not have the supervision of Calendar Man, or in this case, Julian Day, goes, you know what? I'm going to prove to my brother I am not a waste, and I'm going to go steal the drugs off the biker gang, even though he was legally trying to buy them. So he rolls up over to
legally
the meeting
trying
spot.
to buy
he was I guess non-violently trying to acquire the weapons via an exchange of money illegally. Well, you guys got to jump on my little idiosyncrasies.
I'm just saying this all.
So he rolls in, ends up killing Dante, the boyfriend of Miss Aguila, steals all the drugs, and it is blamed on Julian Day, who is missing. He goes back to his brother, and he's like, I don't know, man, Julian Day just disappeared. He went to the restroom, never came back. I'm assuming he's the one that stole the drugs. I'm the one with all the drugs. I'm going to make a fortune. And so they assume Julian is the guy to blame. They go and steal his kid. Batman goes to check back on the kid, finds the note, and it happens to be held at the same place where all the Wrath weapons are at. So he gets all dressed up in his Iron Man plate armor that he has used to fight the Court of Owls before and a couple other times, storms on in, beats up all the thugs, and saves the kid, and ends up dropping the Julian Day's son off at one of the Aguila foster homes. So it's all this tie, and look at all these links to this storyline that's going on here. Woo! And now we can get Calendar Man in. Yeah, he's saved. It was actually, it's very well done. I did it a little out of order. The way it was done, a lot of the transitions were very, very fun to read because it's when this whole thing started, I really liked the way Buccellato and Manipul are doing it. I still had a lot of questions, and this answers a lot of those questions as to why Batman even knew the Aguilas prior, why I should give a crap about the daughter Aguila, because she just kind of popped up for a minute, went, I'm a good dirt biker, see you later, and my name means the Eagle, surely I will not transition over to some sort of vigilante type character at any point at all, ever. So it kind of filled in some of those back holes that needed to be filled. So last book.
Did Manipul draw that one?
Yes.
Oh, he did?
I believe so.
Okay, maybe that's what they were doing during those extra months.
At least a couple pages. He got a couple of the pages in there.
Okay, cool. All right, finishing off with Aquaman Annual number 2. We're doing a little bit of cleanup with one of these story threads from before. As Aquaman and Wonder Woman go to clean up all of the Greek giant-born monsters that were let out of the tomb in that issue of Aquaman with Hercules in it.
When he was being the best king ever. Woo!
They're hiding.
His trident, its magic powers, it opens doors.
Really?
Yep.
Does he have to speak a phrase at all while he's showing
He actually just raps on the door with the trident and says, knock, 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 anybody home?
He does the shave and a haircut.
And it appears, I might have been wrong. They did the writing, but not the art.
Okay.
It was Scott Hepburn.
Oh, he filled in for them on the Reverse Flash issue.
Yep.
So
that was why I made the mistake.
he did all the awesome Rogues issues.
Yep,
so.
my apologies.
Hey, he can be a chameleon when he has to, and I love it. He needs regular work in the DCU.
Yes, he does.
All of the monsters are hiding in Carcassonne, if I'm saying that right, pretending to be filming a monster movie, but also sucking the life out of its citizens. When Aquaman and Wonder Woman show up and they just start throwing hands, pugilistic fisticuffsmanship.
Oh, I thought they were throwing hands up. Raise the roof! Woo!
Saying AO. Okay. No, none of that's going on. The siren who is in charge of everybody, Selena, tries to sway them by insisting that the Jay-Z song was on. But it's no use. It is no use. Our superheroes are too aware of the siren song, so they
put my hands up.
Miley Cyrus in there.
So they punch and fight.
Party in the USA.
And punch and fight, and sometimes
But
they
they're
kick.
in Greece. How can they party in the USA?
That's why it didn't work. So they punch and fight and kick and punch and fight and kick and do a little more punching and a little more fighting.
Oh, now we're in Ireland.
And then suddenly, Selena decides to mash up Werewolves of London and Sweet Home Alabama and pass it off as her own song, and they start fighting each other.
Whoa!
Wonder Woman and Aquaman, they start fighting each other.
That's what happened when Kid Rock comes on.
So they get, then they get tied up in spider webs and start getting their life force drained by the giant born.
Was Gwen Stefani there with those spider webs? Because she's always walking in those spider webs, from what I hear.
Yeah.
If we're gonna keep with the
She
music
never
theme,
messages were being
answers her
left.
phone, so it's okay.
Yeah. So, and then suddenly they are saved by quite possibly the greatest DC hero since Dean Higgins. It's Evans the archaeologist. He shows up and he's like, "Hey guys, I got this magic rock." And then suddenly, suddenly, whoop, reset button, later monsters, and everything is all hunky dory.
Quite literally, just kind of walks in, goes donk, and hits him in the head with the rock, and he's like, "Evan the archaeologist, I'm out."
So is
Peace.
Aquaman being canceled?
No, it's just a wrap up of some of the storylines.
Yeah.
And it was only half the issue because the second half is a different team up, actually.
Yeah, the second half is Wonder Woman teaming up with Mara to take out another nest of a giant born in a dormant volcano, and then Mara puts them all in a water spout that sends them into a volcano pit made by Wonder Woman, and then Mara passes out and Wonder Woman carries her away like the bodyguard, and that's it?
And I will always love you.
Yeah.
Did they hang out that much in the old 52?
I don't know.
Mara and Wonder Woman, they seem like a good match.
Yeah.
As far as Wonder Woman is, when Wonder Woman is the more patient one of your group, you kind of got to step back a little.
Take a look at how you do things.
Because
Mira passing out was still so weird. It was like such an odd note to end it on.
Well, they were jet skiing on a yacht that she was moving around all over the place, and then she moved the entire ocean so that Wonder Woman could get down there and open a volcano.
I know. Yeah, she exerted herself. It's just still such an odd note to end it on. That's all. It's like, oh no! It's like, oh no! I've got the vapors.
Yeah, that was definitely an odd note to end it on.
So what do you think? What do you think of the Aquaman
there were fun. There were fun parts.
There was a lot of quips.
Evans honestly wasn't that bad. It's just sort of like Evans the archaeologist, huh? Okay.
But it was plainclothes Wonder Woman and Aquaman on vacation.
Yes.
Just like, hey, we don't hang out that much. So how you been?
Yeah.
How things going with you and Superman?
Yeah,
cool.
Well, you left the Justice League. I'm sorry, we had a bit of a tiff there, didn't we? So,
yeah. I heard you're a queen. I'm a king. How's it going?
Yeah.
How's the royal life treating you? Oh, lots of problems. I know the feeling. Yeah. I'm the best king ever, though. Just FYI.
Yeah.
But that's it. That wraps up all of our books for this week. It was a shorter 5th week, so we didn't have that much. That's why we stocked up on the questions at the beginning there. So, as a reminder to you guys, go out there and buy these books. They need the support. They need the help. And Brian just moved the microphone as I was about to ask him a question.
Yes.
What was your book for this week? There's only one answer.
There's really only one answer.
Red Lantern's Annual. It just blew everything else out of the water as far as a full package book for me. And I have a feeling a lot of that's just because we've been along for the ride for the last year or so. But it was still a very well put together book. And we hate you, Charles Soule.
Yeah.
We despise you with the fire of 1,000 suns. You're back to square one, back to episode 27.
Yep.
We're not too sure about you again. Honestly, we were talking via text after you read it. And the first thing after you were just like, no! The very next thing you wrote was, but by God, that was a really well written story. Even though I hate how it ended, I can only say, very well done. It was very well written. So make sure you go out and buy them. Give it a shot. You've heard us fawn over Charles Soule's Red Lanterns. It's actually at a point now where you can start picking up the trades for it. I recommend doing so. It's so much better than it deserves to be, and it's building to an actual full storyline. It's not just a bunch of small character moments, as we've been saying. Everything had a reason, and it's all coming together now.
Yep.
So, next week, we go back to, a large amount of books.
Sigh.
Yes, because some of the annuals got pushed, namely because of the Doom storyline. So next week is full on Doomed. We are getting so much Doomed. Doom, because we have Superman Wonder Woman Annual number 1, Action Comics Annual number 3, Futures End number 14, Green Arrow number 34, Aquaman and the Others number 5, Grayson comes back for Grayson number 2, Trinity of Sin, The Phantom Stranger number 22, Justice League 3000 number 9, Earth 2 number 26. I'm looking forward to that one. That's where I think a lot of this stuff is going to start kicking off as far as all these major storylines. Action Comics number 34 for some more Doomed. So we get the annual and the actual issue.
Oh man, so much Doom.
Yep. Batman Eternal number 18 with Killer Croc on the cover. I don't know which one we're going to get, but I'm hoping it's a good one. Detective Comics number 34, Batwing number 34, Green Lantern number 34, and looks like Lady Weeds is taking command over in Swamp Thing number 34.
I would love it if a bunch of Killer Crocs all suddenly walk into a room together like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah. Wait, there's more than one of us? I never knew this. We've all lived in the sewers for how long? Well, the sewers are pretty big down here. There's a lot of underground stuff.
Fun Fang, what are you doing here? No one remembers you? Okay.
Sorry, man. He was mentioned once. Wasn't he mentioned in one of the DC Universe Presents?
Well, yeah, that was the only time he showed up.
Yeah. He looked like a dragon head guy, wasn't he? Yeah. Okay.
He's never been mentioned since, but you know.
At least we know he exists. Yeah. So, if you guys want to contact us, though, we burned through a bunch of questions. We still have more to go, but as always, use the internet. We're DCR Podcast everywhere. We're on everything, pretty much, I think.
Yep.
Especially that Pod Blast, where I think we're number 1 on Pod Blast this week.
Yep.
So keep those votes coming in.
Because DCR podcast and then rugby podcast and
then rugby podcast.
or cricket, one of the two.
I think it was cricket last time. But as such, you can also email us at feedback@dcrpodcast.com. Brian, do you have anything before we take off?
Guardians of the Galaxy was awesome.
Was it? Mm-hmm. I saw it yesterday, but I have no opinion on it today on August 3rd, 2014. So hopefully next week I'll be able to at least make a brief comment about it.
Yep.
Once I gather my thoughts. So from all of us here, guys, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we will talk to you next week. Bye, Zilius. We love you.